Hey guys, it's Mike the Wrestling God Smith. You guys are watching All In Wrestling. So, the purpose of this video, I'm gonna do something that I never would do in this, that I haven't done before, because I think WWE is getting a little, it's getting a little hot, but I want to cool down with a little bit something different. So you know what? I'm gonna talk about TNA, because you know what? And I watched TNA yesterday, I did, but I kind of feel with TNA, like Pulse was right, man. They fucked up big time, because all the money they put into that company, it's not. You know what? I'm not even impressed. I'm not. I'm not impressed. I'm impressed by Brian Cage and OVE. I'm not impressed. I am not impressed with Rich Swann or Raven even being there. And I'm sorry, but like I'm not. I'm just not. And that whole asylum thing, like them being in a mental asylum, it's just like, yo, like, what is going on, man? Like Eddie Edwards, like, they had a guy who was really good at it after being a tag team. Then the Wolves broke up because of the stupid woman, the lady that got in the way of it. I think it was the woman. I forgot her name. I think it wasn't was it? It wasn't Tessa. It wasn't Tessa Blanchard. It wasn't Tess Mocker. It wasn't. I think it was I forgot the lady, the rich girl's name. I totally forgot her name right now. It's not Allie, and it's not who is it? Like I said, I don't. Like I said, I don't know. Impact is just. But it's just bonkers, man. You know what? It's just bonkers because the way they're going, the way they're getting talent, it's not really bad the way they're getting, but it's like Raven only stay he's only in TNA to get a paycheck. Scott Steiner's being a real dick, and I really think him being in TNA even when it was in 2005 2006, like him being there at that time wasn't really making any different, because it wasn't making anything different, because I thought about it. Like, they had a lot of dudes they could have pushed, and I think AJ was the one guy I think out of TNA would have actually did better. That actually did better than all of them, because Samoa Joe, AJ, and Christopher Daniels, and Chris Kazarian, like those guys, like Fortune was cool because that was a gimmick, and I liked how Rick came in and he wanted to introduce them, but he didn't screw it up, and he didn't screw up Desmond either, because like he actually gave Desmond Wolf a little bit of a time, like he gave him something, and I kind of feel like, and this is just a summary of, like, this is gonna be like a summary of everything that I've kind of expect and I've seen in TNA, I'm not talking about the, like, I'm also talking about the Hogan era too, because the Hogan era was stupid, because Hulk Hogan being the way he was, and I think he was never cut out to be a manager. Eric Bischoff being an Impact was stupid too.
Dominic, bring that bottle of chocolate milk thing you got. It's going to be washed out.
Like I said, that's what I mean. Like, the Hogan era was kind of stupid and it was kind of dumb at the time, because like bringing everybody, like, Riz Ramon, Kevin Nash, X Pac, and I get that they weren't doing anything, like, but like Bubba Ray, like Bubba Ray was fine if they didn't have to bring him. And I really think bringing Devon and Bubba Ray into TNA was the dumbest thing ever, because all it was, because they were dominating every time, and that's what I get. And I get what Pulse was doing, and this is what I mean. They screwed the X division up, because the X division was supposed to be their cruiserweight division, and they had everybody. The X division was cool. X division had Austin Aries. Like, Austin Aries wasn't a bad guy because I liked him. I like Chris Sabin, and like Chris Sabin wasn't a bad guy to me. I really think he wasn't. I just think that even when Brooke Hogan took over and she did her thing with the knockouts, and she made the knockouts actually feel like they were a division and not a joke. And that was the thing. Like, and I gave like Sting being in control of the show. Like, I like the whole thing, Jeff Jarrett being there, and Karen Jarrett being there, or Kurt Angle's ex wife was really didn't make any sense at all because Kurt Angle was just being a dick. I really think him being on Impact made him a dick because he thought he was going to do better. He really thought he was going to do better. That's the problem. Like when you leave WWE to go to Impact, and it wasn't like Impact wasn't even a big. It was just TNA trying to get their big name out there, and I kind of felt like really, like they tried so many times to get his name out there, and that's what I mean. Like, and I get what Paul was saying, like with Sting being Triple H. Like Sting wasn't. It wasn't like Jeff Hardy wasn't bad as a world champion. It was just dumb because that whole immortal stick was the whole immortal freaking faction was stupid too. Like I said, the immortal stick was stupid. The immortal stick was dumb. Them being a faction was stupid because all it was just Hogan's like with Hogan being there and Hogan, and this is what I mean. TNA doesn't really do its thing, and this is what I mean about TNA. And this is just my retrospective of it. I kind of felt Samoa Joe being at TNA didn't really help his career because of Mick Foley. Like Mick Foley was like, I've been trying for no. See, you could have got him into the WWE at that point, and he would have fizzled out. He would have fizzled out before NXT was even made. He would have fizzled out. And this was the thing. Like when you brought Mick and you bought Mick Foley and you bought Ric Flair and you bought all these big name wrestlers, and I get that. And I understand. And see, Impact wasn't really doing. They didn't do nothing with Damien Sandow. They didn't do nothing with him. They misused him too. It was dumb. They didn't do anything with him. They didn't. Because I kind of feel like they kind of just left him in a giant hole. And that's what I mean. They left that dude in a giant hole. It's not even funny because you know what? And I mean this I mean this in the funny way because you know they left him in a giant hole. And that giant hole was kind of stupid because you know what? At some point they left him in a giant hole. Like I said, it just left him. It was like, you know what? Because even when they brought Christian, and Christian was a subpar wrestler when he was in TNA anyway, and I kind of feel like, you know what? Like, and I get it because I look at all the money they put into him, like all the money they put into him, and it wasn't that big a deal. It really wasn't, and I'm just like, you know what? Like Fortune was the greatest. Like I think when 2005, like when Fortune came, and it was Beer Money. It was all the dudes that we didn't think was gonna happen, but it was. And Abyss was talking about they. I mean, it was talking about them, and I wanted Fortune. Like that's what I want now in the W. Like I want a faction of the greatest wrestlers in there. Like I want a faction with AJ and Jeff. I want a faction with Samoa Joe. Like I do want a faction. Like I do. And that's the problem. Because it's never like it's never what it is because this is what I mean. Like even when Christopher Daniels and Chris Kazarian went heel, and they tried to get like the whole Dixie Carter AJ Styles cheating fiasco shit happened, and the whole scandal that happened, but never really wasn't really a real thing. And then Samoa Joe going after Scott Steiner, which was dumb. And I kind of saw what the Big Papa Pump and you know Freakzilla, Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner, you know, Big Booty Daddy was happening because I kind of saw it, bro. I kind of saw it happening in WCW with Rick and Scott. I kind of saw it happening. Like I saw him, this guy, this kid, turn into a freak. See, like that's what I feel like. And this is I respect Scott Steiner. I respect his wrestling heritage and history, but like the dude changed, and I could have just told him like he changed so much. He changed, and you know what? This is what I mean. Like we got a bunch of people. Like we just got a bunch of crap with him, and this is what I mean. Scott Steiner was always like, and he wasn't a bad guy in WCW either. But the way he presented himself after the whole change and him cursing and being the way he was, because like even and that's the thing. I respect Scott Steiner. I do. I just didn't like how TNA was becoming the modern WCW because of Eric Bischoff, and I just feel like you know what, if you're gonna have somebody like that, and I mean this a lot, if you're gonna have somebody like Eric Bischoff run your company, and I don't hate Bill Watts or anything, all he's learned in the business, but and that's the thing, they bled. WCW was bleeding everybody dry. Everybody was getting paid. Everybody was getting fixed. Like that's how I feel. Like that's how I feel with Scott Steiner because of the simple fact he's not a bad guy, but he's a dummy. Because it was like him wanting, and I mean this, him wanting, right? Him wanting this idea, this little nutball of a life that he thought he was gonna have, and I get it. Like I get it, like 100%. I get it. Like I get it. But here's the thing, I don't get, right? I've been in the road, like I've seen a lot of things with him. I've seen a lot of wrestling history, and I just like TNA was just it was great when it's great when it was great when Hogan. It was great when Dixie didn't really get involved. Like it was better when they got involved. They got Jerry Lynn. They had Mike Today and Don West because he was a good. I think he was a good announcer. I think he was just like I think he really like Jim Ross at the time. And I kind of feel like now because Impact Wrestling tries to get Match Striker, and they got him. And then they got the Pope, which I like the Pope. I really do like the Pope. I want him to be in WWE though. Oh, Elijah Burke, or we call you the Pope, and I remember you. Because I knew it was him. I just couldn't remember because I've seen his face. Because they changed his gimmick was stupid. Because he was trying to be the I think he was trying to be the future or something like that. It's the future of ECW, but it wasn't. It never happened. And this is what I mean. Like Brian Cage is good. I just don't like that Conan is. I don't like LAX. I don't because LAX was stupid, yo. It was stupid. It was stupid. Like even now, like OVE. Like I like OVE and Callahan. And this is what I mean. Like this is what I mean with this is what broke this like my comeback with TNA because when they started doing some like when they started bringing people they need to bring in like they didn't have to like when they started bringing in freaking Damien Sandow and making Rockstar Spud his freaking chauffeur, that just broke my back. That broke my back. Like I said, that broke my back. Like I said, it broke my back because I'm like, yo, I couldn't do it. But anyway, guys, like and comment and subscribe on this video. Peace.